Today, we're here with Michelle Chaka, Director of Safety Assurance and Standards with Locomation, discussing how to define safety for autonomous trucking technology. Michelle, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Isaiah, for having me.
We're glad to have you here. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and why you chose to work for Locomation?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've worked in the safety related engineering fields for over 25 years at traditional OEMs such as Ford and GM, and conducted transportation safety research at Virginia Tech Transportation Institute, where I directed the data and analytics division. So, Isaiah, let me tell you a little bit about what inspired me to come and join the Locomation team. First off, I have dedicated my career to making transportation safer. And I really like the thoughtful approach to self driving trucks that Locomation was taking, starting with the human guided autonomous relay convoys. One of the most important aspects for me was Locomation's solid safety culture. And as the Director of Safety Assurance and Standards, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to continue to build on this solid foundation. Finally, the pandemic impacted several lives. I'm sure it impacted yours, Isaiah, and it definitely impacted my own. It also highlighted the critical nature of our transportation system and the movement of essential goods. Customer needs and the environment, such as the impact of the recent higher fuel prices, will continue to affect the trucking industry for the foreseeable future. Locomation's approach to autonomy will improve the trucking industry's efficiency, resilience, and provide a practical and safe pathway to scalable autonomy. I'm really excited to be part of the Locomation team and the revolutionary effort it is undertaking.
Can you tell us about Locomation's approach to autonomous truck safety?
I love to talk about Locomation's approach to safety, and really our approach using the human guided autonomy is really what sets it apart from other companies in the industry. One of the critical differentiators is our ability to solve complex and challenging situations by combining autonomy with human navigation. With our human in the loop approach, dynamic scenarios such as construction zones, accident scenes, inspections, or emergency vehicle encounters are navigated just like humans do them today. One of the most frequent questions I get when I'm asking about our safety approach and our convoy is really how we're going to maintain a safe and robust link between that lead and following trucks, particularly in handling situations like cut ins. If a motorist cuts between the convoy, the lead human driver will be immediately informed and help safely resolve the situation. There are a couple different approaches that can be used. The convoy can change lanes or can gradually slow down the convoy to encourage the motorist to leave and mitigate the potential of a collision.
What is the regulatory environment like today for autonomous trucks?
Well, Isaiah, I'm really glad you asked me this question because I have been spending many years working with the USD DOT and following the regulatory landscape. One example is the research project I led at Virginia Tech Transportation Institute for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or better known as NHTSA. NHTSA is the agency that sets and enforces standards for motor vehicles and equipment. The research I conducted identified potential regulatory barriers for vehicles equipped with automated driving systems and developed regulatory options. In fact, NHTSA recently released a final rule on the occupant protection for automated vehicles that was based on this research. This is a really big step forward, but there is so much more work that needs to be done to address the crash avoidance regulations, which were written with the underlying assumption that vehicles will have manually operated driving controls, such as a steering wheel and brake pedal. The needed updates to the crash avoidance regulations may take many years to address. Locomation's human guided autonomy approach will maintain the truck's manually operated driving controls. This will allow us to meet all of the federal motor vehicle safety standards as they're written today. The other agency that we work closely with is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, or FMCSA. This agency has authority over the operations of commercial motor vehicles, including drivers, licensing, and and operational safety. Many of the FMCSA key safety regulations have barriers to removing the human driver. For example, if a truck is stopped on the side of the road, the driver must put out warning devices within a certain distance of the truck and within a certain time frame of that stopping event. There is also a regulation that requires drivers to examine the cargo and make any necessary adjustments during the trip. As these regulations are written today, it would be extremely challenging to meet these without having a human present. At the state level, the states have authority over the operations through traffic laws, licensings, and enforcement, but they vary by state to state. These state laws have laws such as following too closely, platooning, and having a driver behind the wheel. These compliance items are dramatically simplified by having a human centric model, just like location does. So we have a trained human driver with a commercial driver's license present and ready to handle the issues on the road the same way they're done today. In addition, we're closely tracking updates to the fuel emissions and pollution standards that are coming out of NHTSA and the Environmental Protection Agency. Our autonomous convoy will reduce emissions, fuel burn, and help advance the U.S. meeting its energy independence and sustainability goals. The US DOT is focused on improving safety, quality of employment, and environmental impacts for our transportation system. Localmation Solution does just that. So I'm looking forward to continuing to work with the US DOT and help them meet their mission.
Michelle, how would you define safe enough for your autonomous technology?
Yeah, Isaiah. So we just talked through the regulations, and that is one piece. However, there is so much more that is needed to achieve an acceptable level of safety. It starts with Locomation's thoughtful approach to autonomy. Because we have human in the loop, we do not need to solve all of those complex challenges, such as the work zones and the construction zones that we talked about earlier, right out of the gate. So, though, even with our human guided approach, there is rigor needed to determine what is safe enough. Safety must be part of everything we do and transparent to our customers and the public. It needs to be data driven, comprehensive, and defensible.
To do this, Localmation is developing a safety case for our human guided autonomous relay convoy using UL 4600 standard for AV safety.
A safety case is a structured argument based on evidence to justify that the autonomous relay convoy is acceptably safe. This approach provides Localmation with a mechanism to guide the vehicle's safe development and substantiate the safety claims in the final design, validation, and verification stages. The safety case approach is not just used in the AV industry, it's used across several industries, such as oil and gas, nuclear, and aerospace. What we have done at Localmation is we have structured our safety case around 5 critical safety pillars. It starts with the safety culture as number 1, followed by engineer it right, manufacture it right, operate it right, and improve it right. An important aspect to the safety case and the claim evidence is establishing predictive safety metrics that are an indication of performance before the system is on the road and continuously monitors the system during on-road testing and deployment operations. Transparency is critical to building customer confidence and public trust, just like we talked about earlier. As we begin to ramp up the autonomous relay deployment, Localmation will provide additional public information on the safety of our system, including releasing a voluntary safety self-assessment. So I'm glad to be here today, Isaiah, to talk to you about some of the safety stuff, but look for me in the future as we begin to ramp up towards deployment.
Michelle, I'm definitely looking forward to those talks in the future. I want to thank you for taking the time today and giving us this information about Localmation and their safety approach to autonomous technology. If people want some more information about Localmation, where can they go?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So head to our website, localmation.ai.
Thank you again, Michelle. This interview has been brought to you by Localmation, and you can find this interview and more on tv.freightwaves.com.
Thanks, Isaiah.